is Pia. Here is an interview which is called What Drives Her? Woman to Women. This is a project that I have started at the end of 2018, interviewing women because I feel many women have something to share that could inspire, or other women could relate to what they have been through. So today we are welcoming Lot, and the core of the interview with Lot is, let me just double check that, it will be about the process of creating a different path when in your life you have been exposed to unexpected event. Okay, so thank you very much, Lot, for being here. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, Lot, maybe you can introduce yourself to all the people who are listening to us today.
Hi, I'm Lot. I'm Belgian. I'm almost 43. I have two boys, Bram and Jewel. They are 24 and 19. Yeah, I've been an expat from 2000 until 2014, and I think, yeah, that's quite an important part in the interview, that I was an expat.
Okay, thank you. So, Lot, maybe we can start with you explaining in a few words what was the unexpected event that happened in your life that led you to find a new path, personal and professional.
Well, after a marriage of 19 years, my husband decided in 2014 that he wanted a divorce. We've been at that time for 14 years. So I was forced to come back to Belgium with the two kids, and it was quite a huge, difference, a different life.
Because you were just mentioning before that being an expat was an important parameter in what you're going to tell us about building a new path. And you just said that was a huge difference. So I understand the difference was the organization of your life as an expat with a husband who was working, and you being there as a family, the spouse and the family, the woman who is organizing many things around the expatriation, and then coming back home by yourself with the two kids.
Yeah, you know, when you're an expat and your husband is working, the company takes care of everything, housing, schooling, a huge part of your life is taken care of. So you have the luxury on focusing only on your family life, your social life, your personal growth, the kids. And when I came back, I had to combine the single motherhood with the kids and getting a job again after 14 years and building a social life, because after that time there's not much left, and it was a huge difference. And the question me and also my fellow impats get a lot, I think it's the question asked most often, is, was it difficult to come back? And of course I had a difficult time with the divorce, and so, but what I got in return was mine. For the first time, I guess, in my whole adult life, what I started building was mine. It was, yeah, I did it all. It was not my husband's. I'm looking for the word.
Achievements.
Achievement, yes.
Yeah. So that's the main difference between being an expatriate or going with the flow of the expatriation of your husband, and yeah, and going back home, if ever it is still home after, because you've been expatriating for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So going back home, as you say, having to readjust with your psychological state, I guess, the mechanism of your family cell, which was totally different,
Totally.
your role within the family, and the social networks, as you say, that you had left for years, decades, maybe
14 years,
20
yes.
years, 14
14.
years, which is very long, and go back to work knowing that you had you been working before?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the before we left, I was working as a primary school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
That's only a half a year.
Okay.
And then we expatriated to Singapore. Bram was only 4.5 years old. Yul was 6 months. My degree wasn't recognized because it's a Commonwealth country and Belgium isn't a Commonwealth country, so it wasn't recognized. Then we left for Dubai. There I was on the sponsorship of my husband's company, so I was not allowed to work. Cameroon, the same. Brazil, I didn't speak the Portuguese. I didn't have a working visa. So it was, yeah,
Complex.
almost impossible
Complex.
to work.
Yes. And just a clarification maybe for the other person listening to this video is that an expatriate will know about that, probably. The non-expatriate may not know about that, but when, because we knew each other in Rio, in Brazil, a lot. And what many people do not realize is that when you expatriate and you are not the person who is expatriating with their work, you have to adapt. And work-wise, in many countries like Brazil, like you were saying, Singapore, Cameroon, Dubai, I guess as well, you were not allowed, we are not allowed to work
No.
because of the local legislation. Okay, so it's a huge deal when you give up your own, as you were saying, your own achievements, personal, maybe personal, you gain a lot in expatriation because, as you were saying before, you can develop many things with the condition the person is happy about that. But professionally, there is a huge loss.
You become completely afhankelijk. Dependent, yes.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Because I didn't work so much, I was only 23 when we left, so I only worked half a year. Didn't have the feeling of leaving a career behind, but I know it's a huge part of your personality that you leave behind at home.
Yes, and would you say you have realized that once you had to be back home in Belgium? Or did you realize that before already?
No, I didn't struggle that much in the beginning. Becoming an expat, it took me a year, but I grew into it fairly fast.
Yes, and the interesting thing as well is, and tell me if you would agree or not with that, is that when someone is an expat, they, as you were saying very rightly, I think, there is also a part of them which is growing by, being in touch with different cultures, different languages. You have to step anyway outside of your comfort zone, and there is no choice about that. So you learn a lot, and you get richer. And in your situation, tell me if I'm right or wrong, you have developed that skill of welcoming people, around cooking. I don't know if there is a name for that, because it's both, I feel, the art of welcoming people, organizing a reception or organizing a dinner, and with that very specificity of yours, which is cooking at a very fine level, from what I saw and heard of.
Yeah.
So, and that you have been using actually for, reaching and going over that step of that new life you had
Yes.
to build.
Yes. Yeah, I learned that I'm quite good in if something negative happens to me, I allow myself a period of time to grieve, to be emotional, and then I grab it and I try to turn it around into a positive energy. And I didn't, yeah, before it happened, I didn't know I had it in me, or you're so young and everything overcomes. But because of the divorce, yeah, suddenly I was all alone on my own. I had my safety net was completely gone. And yeah, it took me only a couple of weeks to turn it around. And in the beginning you're on, yeah, on
Panic mode or
panic, but automatic.
automatic?
The the alarm goes off, you get out of bed, take a shower, but you're like numb, no feelings,
Yeah.
because every feeling hurts too much.
Yeah.
I went to school. I chose not to go to work, but to school to get my chef's degree. Nobody knew for 3 months. Nobody knew that I was starting a divorce, because I didn't want the pity, and I just wanted to. That was my escape.
Yes.
My husband was working abroad. I came back with the children. I wanted to become a chef, and nobody knew, so I could escape from reality that first couple of months. And I remember that first year being really proud of myself, that in my darkest and most sad period in my life, I was able to build new friendships. I was still, yeah, appealing enough, attractive enough, a nice personality enough, that people, yeah, were interested in me and doing things with me. And yeah, it made me, um, after the first year, I was really proud of myself that I achieved that.
Yeah. Am I right if I say that from one instant to the other, you lost everything?
Mm-hmm.
And going that, even though you went very, very deep in that loss of all security, as you were very clearly explaining, you realized that you had to protect yourself in a way, so no pity, no sharing at the moment, because you thought, okay, I need to get organized, and maybe work on a kind of automatic mode, getting up in the morning, having, getting dressed, getting ready, and dealing with the kids, and organizing your new training, but not sharing everything, because you had recognized that if you were sharing what was the divorce, which was very sorry, my words are missing as well. The divorce was something very important to you, very painful.
Traumatizing.
Exactly. But you didn't want to share that because you got that it would hurt you.
Yeah,
Because
I
people...
was too fragile. I couldn't take the pity and the compassion, and I was afraid I was going to break into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah.
And my mom, my sister, my cousins, the first couple of months, they came every day, every week. I told my story 100, 1,000 times, maybe 1,000,000 times, the same story, and I don't understand, and I don't get it, and how did it happen, and why did he, and what was he thinking, and on and on and on and on and on. At night, when I was alone and with my closest family. But as you say, during the day, I had to escape that. Yeah, otherwise you get swallowed by self-pity.
Yes.
And I didn't want to respond to that. I didn't want to become that person.
Sorry, go on.
No.
I think what you're saying is very interesting and might help other women, because it happens to other women to get a divorce, which is absolutely not expected, and finding themselves in a kind of a hole. What's going to happen next? And it's interesting to listen to you, because basically what you've been able to feel is create very, very fast a new frame where you could see and decide what was helping you in that very, very short period and what would not help you. So you've chosen to share your story with the closest people to you that you could just be in million pieces with them, because you were secure and they could hold you then, but not with other people who were acquaintances or friends, but not close enough to still feel safe if you were just crying and asking all those million questions. So yeah, I think it's important to say, if ever you go through such a huge tsunami emotionally, because that's the main thing, to be able to choose who are the person, and usually it's on, you can count them on one hand. It's very few people you can show and be fragile with them, because they will hold you, and not share to the world, because it will not help.
Yes, but on the other hand, like you said, that frame where you choose the frontiers, what makes you feel safe. For me, it was cooking. I'm a good cook. I'm not very
you can say it, you're a good cook.
Yeah. So I needed to find a purpose to get up in the morning, and that was my escape. And I know an escape is it's double, because if it's only an escape, it's not the right thing to do. But for me, I needed that 6, 7, 8 hours a day to take my mind off everything and do the thing I am really, really good at and I like doing, just to get that feeling back that I'm good at something and I'm worth something, and yeah, so I escaped into a kitchen that worked for me.
Brilliant. and and again, that's very important what you're saying, because this is another thing to take into account. When you are that low in life, and you were saying you were numb, and numbness, we can think of depression, some, well, you're in a very sad place, but extremely sad. Okay, it's not just sad. You had to reconsider your whole life organization and your whole psychological security. So when you're in that place where you're that low in the uneasy feelings, you need to fill up the bucket with positive impacts. Otherwise, you're just drawn, and as you were saying, you fall into thousands of pieces. And that's exactly what you've done in choosing cooking, because you knew that cooking makes you feel you like it, just doing it, plus you have positive feedbacks because you're good at
Yeah,
it.
I'm not sure I knew it at that time. Now I know it. Afterwards, it's easier. But in intuitive, I felt like I need to do something that just gets me out of bed every morning, because otherwise I will just cry all day and yeah.
Yeah. So something which is feeding you, that's
Yeah.
funny, that word, that
Yeah.
is really feeding you positively to make you exist in a way that is, that is supportive, helping, positive, and makes you exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Well,
in September it started like that, pure, yeah, on automatic mode, and by the end in June, when I finished the course, one of the things we had to do and in the evaluation talk was give each other comments. And mine was, with her by your side, uh, failure is not an option.
wow.
Until this
Wow.
day, yeah, it's still the best compliment I got.
Yes, it's wow. That is a powerful one, and that's a real one, because these are, whoever told you that had been working and studying with you. So
Yes.
it's a real one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So one of the question is, yes, I liked when you mentioned, because on the second question there, I'm not good at following questions, but anyway, what is the difference in your life now in comparison with your life before? And you were just mentioning the sense of personal achievement. Can you
Yes.
elaborate a bit more on that?
Well, my life before 2014, I was a dependent woman.
Mm-hmm.
I was depending on my husband and his company and everything. And after, yeah, let's say 2015, because it took me quite a while, but uh, after 2015, I became an independent woman, and that's basically the biggest difference. Everything I accomplish now is mine. I worked for it. It was because of my strength and yeah.
All comes from you.
Yeah.
Everything is because you've worked for it and put yourself into it.
And it doesn't mean that I'm not sad or fed up or weak, or but I allow myself a day or 2 days and then get a good night's sleep, take a deep breath, and now you get up again and we go for it again, and come on, be strong and fight, and everything will be okay in the end.
Mm-hmm. So would you say you have discovered, with all that very, very difficult time, or because of the divorce, would you say that because of that, you have been able to discover a part of yourself which you may have not discovered otherwise?
Which I lost.
You had lost it.
During my marriage. My husband was quite a powerful man, and yeah, because of the expatriation, I followed and I became, yeah, the second party, and I never experienced it while it was going on, but afterwards
Yeah.
I realized I lost such a big part of myself.
Mm.
And yeah, I know it might sound weird for some people, but I'm now, afterwards, I'm grateful the divorce happened, because I rediscovered myself again. And yeah, it's the biggest gift I could get.
Yes. Yes, it is very interesting what you're sharing a lot. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good, because sometimes it stops. It's very interesting what you're sharing there, because I have experienced it, and people I'm working with have as well. It seems that the day you have a huge, sorry for the word, shit in your life, because let's talk, real, that's after when you've healed and survived. That was actually, yes, the best gift ever, because it woke you up and you found new strengths, new capacities, and new satisfactions. I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, you can discover how much you can be and deal with things with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
When
yes.
I guess when Diedrich left me, I was this scared, gray little girl, like, and yeah, now I'm this. I try to be that confident woman that owns her life.
Yeah, that's the huge difference. And when you were saying, I've been working and still a bit, but less now, with expatriates, and the image that all, and I have been an expatriate myself, as you know, the image which always came back, what I felt is that expatriation is a golden cage. It seems beautiful, secure, but I think and it's usually women, for the person who is not being sent for their work, it can be a trap when you cannot be whoever you want to be.
I understand that, and I guess for a lot of expats it's true.
Mm-hmm.
For me, not. I
Yeah.
really loved being an expat, experiencing the new cultures, the new countries, the new languages, the new opportunities. It shaped me into who I became, meeting so
Absolutely.
many
Yes.
people from so many cultures, not only the expat countries where I lived in, but also from the United States or the UK,
Mm-hmm.
or Australia, whatever. Um, yeah, Sweden. Yeah, you and every one I met gave me a new experience, and I really soaked it up. I really enjoyed the new experiences, and but I understand for some people it's different, and it can be difficult, and more.
Exactly, it's a very personal thing, but as you say, for you, you've soaked it up. It made you, it shaped you, who you are even now, and probably helped you through that step you had to go through.
Probably.
Mm,
Yeah, it really
interesting.
made me into the person I am now, and I'm yeah, indefinitely grateful that I had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Uh,
To meet all those people and to learn from all those cultures. And
Another question I get a lot is, do you miss it? Do you want to go back? And the
yes.
answer is no.
Why is that?
Um, because I had the experience, and I'm happy with the way my life is going now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
try to be in this moment, live in the present, and
Yes.
no, I'm not sad it ended, or I'm just grateful I had
Yes.
the opportunity.
Yes. And because you found yourself and what you have built is now your reality, and you're happy with what you've become and what you have built.
It was my biggest fear that
Mm.
I would miss it and be sad about it and become angry because Dietrich took that away from me.
Mm-hmm.
But no, because I could replace it with, yeah, my life that I was building.
Yes. Yes. It's, you've had different lives.
Yeah.
One of my question is there anything specific in being a woman in what you've been through?
Ha. Besides the cliches of being the weak gender, I don't think so. No.
Okay, okay, that's fine. So a man could have been through the same, and well, my question is more because you were a woman, was it, did you find that maybe it was more or less difficult to go through this process or not?
No.
Okay, okay, perfect.
Um, Pia, can I
Mm-hmm.
interrupt? My
Of course.
battery is low, so I have
Running low.
to get I have to get the.
Yeah, yeah, please do. Please do. We're waiting for you. So yes, for those who are still here, we were talking with Lot, and Lot was explaining. I got it. Us, how she went through a life being married, expatriate with 2 kids, enjoying that fully, being very happy doing this, to the moment when her husband asked for divorce, and she had to go back home, stop the expatriation, go back home and figure out her own life. So going through the process of the divorce, she was still in love with her husband, so going through that psychological thing as well, having to reorganize all her professional life and all her life as a single mom. I was just trying
Yeah.
to summarize what we were talking about. Okay.
Okay.
So next question would be: is there anything that you learned from the change process that you have been through? Something you've learned in the way that is helping you now in your current life?
I guess be mild on yourself. Don't be too harsh. You are allowed to feel sad or angry or whatever negative feeling, as long as it doesn't consume you. And give yourself a day or a week, whatever, or how big the emotion is. Give yourself some time to be sad, angry, whatever, and then get up and take your life into your own hands and give yourself time and compassion, and one day it will get better.
When you say all this, give yourself time, give yourself compassion, allow yourself to be sad, to not to be up to whatever needs to be done sometimes. Sorry, is this something that was familiar to you? Is it something that you knew you had to force at the beginning, or how easy or difficult or new this was for you?
It was very difficult.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah.
I needed to be perfect. In my mind, I had to be perfect. And yeah, nobody is perfect. So yeah, you
What would you
are
say?
allowed.
Yeah, sorry.
You are allowed to have off days. And the first year I felt, because I was a stay-at-home mom, and then all of a sudden I I went to school. I had evening classes. I started working on Saturdays, so I was never home. I didn't have time to make the cupcakes and the donuts and the whatever they liked, and I felt such a bad mom. And I also learned that every story has two sides. Because I felt in the beginning like a bad mom, but then somebody told me, actually, Lot, what you are showing is that you take uh, responsibility for your life, and you don't sit back and cry, but you take your life into your hands, and you are building something new, and something maybe better, something different, something. So what? Yeah, it's also a valuable lesson. So in every story there are two sides, and I
Yes.
still think about that.
To side of one story. And may I ask you what helped to shift from I am a bad mom, I can't do this, to, well, actually I can allow myself some compassion and some breaks and reach for help. What was the...
Yeah, I needed professional help for that. I needed somebody
Okay.
to hold that mirror.
Okay. So that's interesting to understand.
Also,
That at a...
yeah, it's it's not a bad thing to not be able to do everything. You don't need to be a master at everything. Just ask for help. Help isn't a shame.
Yeah. So that's probably one big lesson. You had your own capacity of viewing and feeling who could help and who could not help. That's a huge thing. And then you allowed yourself to seek help professionally and from your closest family.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a message I think is worth saying very clearly to women who go through that, is that yes, it's going to be tough, horrible, feel probably impossible some days, but you can, some people can help you. Choose them, don't ask anyone, but choose the one you think, you believe can help, and it won't be many people, but choose them.
Choose
Okay.
them carefully. You know, like when you're sick, you go to a doctor, and when you're hungry, you go to a restaurant or to a bakery or a butcher. And when you don't feel mentally strong, you go seek professional help that way. Just, yeah, it's as simple as that.
That's interesting you say that, because when you are in that state of your world is just upside down, nothing seems simple at that
No,
moment.
no,
Everything seems to be just, everything is overwhelming. So it's important to say it can be simple. Let go and allow some very few people to be there for you and guide you at
allow,
that
yeah,
moment. Yeah, yeah.
that's allow yourself to get help,
Mm, mm,
whatever whatever form it is.
yeah.
Allow yourself to get some help.
Yes. So you can rebuild yourself step by step. And then the next step is you
Yeah.
creating something. Yeah, yeah. Brilliant. I'm just checking on my questions. Is there a word that would define where you are now in your life?
uh, Balanced.
Balanced. Wow. And how would you have defined, with the word, your life when your ex-husband told you about the divorce?
um, um, can you repeat the question?
Same. One word, maybe, of how you would describe your life just when your ex-husband told you he would divorce.
Um One big mess.
Okay, big mess. So hey, that's for you, but you know it, and that's for all the women listening, and hopefully men as well listening to this. That's you went from a big mess to feeling balanced. Yeah, so it is possible. That is the message. It is possible. It can be simple. Reach out. Choose a few persons to reach out, so you can let go. You can collapse, but feeling safe, and build yourself step by step. That's what I understand from
Yeah.
what you're saying. Uh, is there anything you would like to add about all what you've been through, from that moment when you knew you would be by yourself, all alone, not all alone actually, but that was your perception then, to that big mess, to that balanced life?
um, yeah, be gentle with yourself. And now it may seem easy while I talk about it, but I did cry for a year.
Yeah.
So when you're right in the middle of your mess, it's not easy, but that's okay, as long as you don't, yeah, indulge, as
Mm.
long as you get up and look for opportunities, look for help, and believe that one day things will get better.
Yes.
Yeah,
It.
I feel like it's it seems very easy what I did, but it was the most difficult thing I did in my entire life.
Yes, and still you did it. So that's a huge message to share. It is possible, even if it was very difficult and it lasted for,
Feels impossible.
feels absolutely impossible. Cried for a year, felt probably crushed and all alone and desperation, and then after, when did you begin to feel you could connect with who you were again in a more positive way? How long did that take you, if you remember?
Well, after the first year, when I got my degree, I immediately could start working in the restaurant where I did my internship, or in the company where I did my internship. A couple of weeks later, I saw an advert for a vacation. Yeah, how do you say it? Vacation in the restaurant, my favorite restaurant in my hometown. I went there for a tryout, and I immediately got a signed contract. And then, yeah, as long as you're at school, it's still safe and not the real world. But then I started working in a restaurant where we had, during the weekends, 150
Clients,
servings a
customers,
night.
yes.
So it was really, really tough.
Tough.
And then I often, laugh about it or say it. It was still a part of my therapy. I feel like it was still a part of my therapy. Every single little achievement I made there, from the first time you do a lunch or a dinner all by yourself, and all the starters and all the desserts are well done and gone out of the kitchen on time, and until I did one time 750 servings a week, and then I was like, okay, this is it. Now you've proven yourself. You're a master. You have it. There's nothing new anymore. And then I could, yeah, my time to focus on me, because that year and a half was really, I had to focus on me and strengthening myself. And then it was time to find a more balanced professional life from 9 to 5, be at home in the weekends with the kids, do fun stuff, make time for social, for family. So yeah, 2 years, I think, almost.
Yes. So what you're saying, it's not one day to the other.
Yeah.
It's a process, and there are little bits that are adding up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I still have days like I feel, my God, I wish it was easier, and I have to step out of my comfort zone again, and I would like a boyfriend and a new family life, and that's, yeah. But yeah, then you you sleep, you get up, and you take
You
it from
go to
there.
work. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It is a process. It is a
Yeah.
step-by-step process. Absolutely. Right. If there is anything, if there is nothing else you want to add, we are going to stop here. But before saying goodbye to you lot, I would love you to talk about your work, and because you have two works, if I understood what you were telling me before, and one of it is as a cook. So
Yes.
it's a self-employed work,
Yeah.
and is it something you're happy to advertise here if ever people want to go and buy from you, whether in Belgium, I guess it's in Belgium, it is local,
Yeah.
isn't it? So are you happy to talk about it and maybe give the name or?
Yeah, my company is called Pand 157.
Okay, you will have to write it to me.
Yes. It's the 157. It's where I live and where my parents lived. So
Okay.
there's a link between my childhood and my profession now.
Yeah.
And I'm a
Mhm.
cook at home. So if you have a party or something, I'm happy to come and cook for you.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay, so we're going to say goodbye to you, Lot. Thank you very, very much for sharing all this because it was very personal. But I knew it would help other women because divorce happens all the time, and it's good to share because when you go through tough moments like that, you feel, as you were saying, overwhelmed and the only one. Well, actually, no, you're not the only one, and there are options and there are ways out. So thank you very much,
Thank you.
Lot, and goodbye to you. And I will write down in the comments the name and the details where to reach you if we are around where you live, and if we need some delicious food.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lot.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.